Good morning, everybody. I have something special for you today. Well, there's a lot of special things happening in Magdala all the time, but there's something very special brewing. And I won't let the cat out of the bag completely yet. But the readings today speak very much to it. And also, if you would like to read the latest journal article, it's bang on the same topic by wonderful providence. And so I invite you to do that. Who's going to separate the sheep from the goats? Who's going to do that? And there are a lot of people doing that all the time, because then we can be in opposition to others if we can declare them goats, if we can label them and demonize them, or put them in bad light at least, or make them different, or make them hostile to us, or declare them deviant. And so how do we go about the big challenges, in even the family? Because somebody in the family can also be labeled. Maybe they have a problem with drink and we label them as alcoholic, and we whisper about them, and it's a real issue. There's a real objective issue. But how do we deal with all of this? And there's a marvelous line today in the first reading and also in the Psalm. I love it, It's amazing. And I want to dwell a little bit first on the Psalm. It's from Psalm 90. And it says, "Fill us with your love, O Lord, and we will sing for joy." Fill us with your love, excuse me, and we will sing for joy. And that's the rendering that's given for the responsorial verse. And there are actually different ways this can be rendered, and that's already even in the text that we have in the link that you have there for the daily readings. So I checked out another translation that says, "Fill us at daybreak." What time of the day is it here at the Sea of Galilee? It's at daybreak. The dawn is basically over. The sun is probably up already over the Golan. It's just the cloud is blocking it there. We're at daybreak. A new day is breaking. It's opening up for us. Like the breaking of the bread. The breaking of the shell to get at the kernel. And that breaking that happens when the sprout comes out of the seed. Wonderful moments of new life. So it says, "Fill us at daybreak with your mercy, that all our days we may sing for joy." So we have the word mercy and we have the word love. And then the word in the Psalm itself, it says, "Fill us at daybreak with your kindness." So kindness and mercy and love. And you can see how these three words are speaking of the same reality in a way, applied maybe to different circumstances. Kindness is a gentleness, it's a goodness, it has a smile, it's tender, it adapts to the person in front of us, kindness. And mercy, there's the sense of compassion. There's a sense of interior, a little bit of, let's say, kind of a hurt, a kind of a pain, because the other person is in really bad shape. Somebody that's beaten up, somebody that had a heart attack, and to come and to do everything possible to get that ambulance out fast, and to get the stretcher ready, and the first aid of all their equipment, and that's an act of mercy. It's, the famous acts of mercy, to visit the sick, to visit the imprisoned, to feed the hungry, to console the sorrowful. These are because we're looking at people in a situation that's not desirable, and we want to help to take them out of their pain, their suffering, their loss, their affliction, their anxiety, the harassing circumstances they're in, the burden they're carrying. We have mercy on them. We don't burden them further. On the contrary, we carry their burden. So we have these three wonderful words that are interchangeable under different circumstances: mercy, kindness, love, and there are many others. You could add forgiveness, you could add patience, all the different expressions of love. And the article about separating the sheep from the goats is about times when we are very judgmental of others. And they're about important things. They're very important. And that's what the article also talks about. And this whole thing came about because there's some new project that little by little we'll be sharing with you as soon as we're ready. That's dealing with a lot of prejudices that even exist between us as Christians. Yeah. And if you think now, compare that with this line that Paul says today to the Thessalonians. It's a very new community, only a few years old. They have the joy of the gospel. Yesterday at our Mass in the evening, we had two baby Catholics. One was Buddhist from Japan, from a Buddhist family, and 2.5 years ago he was baptized. In fact, his uncle is a Buddhist monk and runs a Buddhist temple in Japan. And his parents are both Buddhist culturally, but not really practicing anything. And he has found his way through his studies to ask deep questions. And he was blessed by encountering some people who opened up for him the great gift of the teaching of love and forgiveness and service, humble service, joyful service to others. And you see, that's people that are abounding in love. They're the ones that really win the hearts, because love wins the heart, because we're made for love. We're made by love. God himself is love, and we're made for love, to love forever. And whenever we're not loving, we're sad, we're broken inside, and we need some fixing. So check out the article today. There's also a little part that a pastor from the US wrote. So it's interesting, you know. It's interesting. And also talk about one of the receptionists at Magdala, who has 3 little boys from, I think, 5 to 12, and 2 of them are redheads. So it's amazing, you know, we can always label people as belonging to this people or that people, or no good, or they don't speak our language, or they're intruding, or we broad brush a lot of people so easily. And we're asked, may the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another and for all. So for one another would be for the Christian community, and for all would be all of mankind. Everybody in the city of Thessalonica. All the pagans, all the Greeks. To love those, even the pagans who are doing false worship and wrong things. To love them, because God loves them. This is a big challenge for us sometimes, because we are very judgmental. Let's just take a step back and evaluate these people. So that's a big invitation today. And in a certain sense, the whole parable about the master of the household carrying out their duty, because we don't own the household, not even ourselves. We have a household to manage inside of ourselves, our heart, our mind, our memory, our emotions, our sentiments, our senses. How do we manage our own personal household? We need to be quite the little orchestra director. And then our own family, the great role of grandparents that allow the parents to have the first authority over the children, but their great role of love. The grandparents can really abound in love, in kindness and goodness. It's not that the parents don't abound in love. They have all the hard work. They also have the direct responsibility for helping the children to acquire a good self-discipline. So they have extraordinary love that's very hard. Sometimes the grandparents have, in a certain sense, a kind of an easier love to give, a more pleasant love. And they can be also a place of refuge for the children in a moment, and console them, and also strengthen them to go back and obey their parents, because their parents really love them. They can strengthen that love the parents have for the children in the children's understanding. It's a great teamwork. Teamwork is also a great expression of love, because different people have different roles in a team. Not everybody is the goalkeeper. If you had 15 goalkeepers in an Irish football team, the Irish football, Gaelic football, real manly football, then the team wouldn't be much good, because you also need the forwards and the midfielders and the back field where they're doing the defense of the goalie. So you need all the different talents together, teamwork. Somebody, I think, is out here in their little boat. It seems to me. Let me show you before we sign off here. This beautiful scene. Look at that. I'm not sure if there are people there. Maybe there's somebody asleep there. We'll leave them be. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this beautiful? People, check out the article, the new article, check out the readings, and above all, abound in love in your family and outside your family. And that will increase your happiness immensely. See you later, alligator, right here from the foot cliffs, the southern cliffs of Mount, or at the foot of the southern cliffs of Mount Arbel. Okay, we haven't been here for a while. And then here we're going to go back to see a sunrise that didn't happen yet, but maybe the Instagrammers will catch it in a few minutes. There we go. See, it's almost there, but it's not there yet. But I think we'll leave it for now, people. I wish you many, many, many blessings.